My personal experience with astrology has been mostly positive. I became interested in it in my late teens after noticing that nearly all my closest friends were born within a day of October 10th, though some in different years. At the time, I was a science major at Rutgers and was skeptical. But having been interested in astronomy as a youth, I realized that this date marked a specific point in the Earth's orbit. I then took a look at some astrology books a girlfriend had, along with some I picked up at a used bookstore, and, unlike any other skeptic I've ever met, I actually studied the subject. After some experiments with the timing of events, I became convinced that astrology was not a superstition, fantasy, or a scam. It was a powerful methodology that used a symbolic language to map the temporal environment, both subjectively and objectively. It also raised many questions about the nature of reality. Astrology is a subject that develops and works with mapping and timing techniques for self-organizing systems. I attended Montclair University and earned a master's degree with a focus on the history of science. For my PhD, I focused on paleoclimatology at the University of Massachusetts. In 1989, I approached a history of science professor at UMass and inquired as to the possibility of developing a graduate program focusing on the history of astrology. He immediately dismissed the suggestion and said it would be the kiss of death to his career and mine. At astrology conferences in New Jersey, Baltimore, and Boston in the summer of 2019, many months before the stuff began, I suggested that a black swan type of event would occur during the first quarter of 2020, and it would trigger a cascade of problems that would last for several years. Exactly what these problems would be, I declined to specify, and only suggested that wars, natural disaster, or major economic crises were good candidates. However, I said the larger issue was government control over the people. I was far from the only astrologer who made such a call. The Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction of 2020 and its possible effects were common knowledge in the astrological community and had been discussed for years. Uncritical assumptions about astrology, especially the confusion of astral magic with pure astrology, are persistent and cross academic boundaries. Even the Wikipedia page on astrology is closely guarded by what appears to be a legion of volunteer defenders of scientism. And any evidence-based contributions posted that support astrology will be replaced, often within a matter of minutes. The willingness of Bill Nye the Science Guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson, the willingness to flaunt what amounts to an embarrassingly minimal understanding of astrology, is obvious only to the very small minority who are not ignorant of the subject. Astrology has thus been branded by academics, wiki geeks, and even some celebrities as irrational nonsense. The result of all this is a collective decision that 1. The patient should be declared dead because its continuing existence is a big problem. And 2, attacking and ignoring it are the best options. These reactions can be compared to the war on cannabis. There, the herb was classified in such a way that it wasn't allowed to be studied. And so it remained illegal and open to evidence-free claims for decades. There are certain things about humans that make getting to the facts not so easy. All of these beliefs were or are considered normal by the community that holds them. It appears that allegiance to irrational beliefs has survival value, probably because it serves to create tribal solidarity. Tribal beliefs and social rankings are ancient instinctive traits, and they continue to have a powerful influence on what we do or don't do, including the hard work of getting to the facts and determining what is real and what isn't. The field of astrology has been studying systems for the past 3 millennia at least. It is not fortune-telling, pseudoscience, nor bunk. Astrology studies a type of environmental signaling, and it is actually a kind of systems science.